Hey guys, David Pingree out here at Pala Raceway today. We're going to take a ride on the 2018 Husqvarna FC350. Really cool model, a nice fit in between the 250 and 450. Kind of gives you that a little bit more power out of it than you would get out of a 250, but not quite as much as the 450. So if you feel like you're kind of in between bikes, this might be a real good choice for you. We've got Bruce Marada from Alias, former professional rider. He's going to come out and turn some laps on this thing for us, get us some good ideas for settings and where to start on this thing. Big changes on this model this year is the fork and shock, different washer in there that kind of creates a little less friction, different setting for both the shock and fork. It comes with the Brembo brake now. Some of the models came with a Magura early into 17. That changed about mid-season, so everything coming with Brembos from here on out. Of course, we got Dunlop tires on this thing, and all of the parts that come standard on here, really high quality components, bold new graphics for 2018. And we'll get Bruce out there, put some laps on this thing. We'll get back to you with a good starting place as far as setup, sag numbers and all that, and get you guys squared away for your 2018 Husqvarna. All right, well, Bruce is back. He's got some time on this thing. Bruce, thanks again for helping us out today. Tell us a little bit about just your general impression on this 350. You've ridden one before, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, so the last time I rode a 350 was, God, man, I want to say it's back in like 2012. I rode the KTM. What a huge improvement from when I last rode one. I was very, very happy with just the whole entire bike. The engine package, I mean, this thing, just stock was incredible. You know, it's especially for where I'm at now with riding. I like to go have fun and just keep it simple. You know, riding the vet tracks. That's where I'm at. And this bike, let me tell you, this is perfect for that kind of riding.
Yeah, it's a nice mix between a 250, where you have to ride those so hard, and a 450 is so much horsepower and bike. For the guys that can't really seem to find a fit, this is a nice fit.
Absolutely. Like you said, 250, you know, they're fun, but you definitely have to be aggressive on them. 450, my honest opinion, I think it's just, they're fast. You know, I think it's definitely taken an experienced rider to ride a 450 to where this 350, you're right in between. I mean, it's, you know, it definitely kind of has that feel of a 250, but then when you really want to get on it, it has just a little bit of that 450 kind of feel. And I'm stoked on how manageable the power is on this bike.
And you played with the maps a little bit. You told me you ended up liking the aggressive setting.
Yeah, so there's two different mapping on here. You have your stock, you know, mellow one, and then you have the more aggressive one. I was happy with the aggressive one. I like just to hit a little bit harder coming out of my corners and stuff, and just ride. I'm more aggressive on it, so I was happy with the aggressive setting.
Yeah, I think for the 350, most people are going to find that extra pickup in the mapping isn't going to hurt them. What about traction control? You played with that a little bit at the end of the day. You hadn't really experienced it too much. We sent him out on a really hard-packed, crappy track over here, just dry as a bone, to really do a lap without it and one with it. What was your take back?
I was stoked. I've never tried traction control, so that was my first experience trying it. And man, it was mind-blowing on how well that actually works. Like you said, the track that we went and tried it on was very blue-grooved, hard-packed. So I went one lap without it, and then the next lap turned it on, and the thing just was able to really track good in all the corners. And yeah, it was mind-blowing on how well that actually works.
Yeah, and the Husky guys were saying they come mounted right next to the bar here. He goes ahead and flip-flops them because guys were finding they would bump it with their chest and switch maps. So if that's something that happens to you, you can switch it over here, maybe roll it forward a little bit on the bar. But he was saying guys will actually switch mid-moto if a track dries out, or if there's even a section that's hard and slick, they'll hit the traction control for that section and then click it back off while they're going. So it's got a lot of possibilities. You got to get comfortable, pulling your hand off and hitting your thumb on that thing, but What a neat feature. What about the suspension and stuff? We talked a little bit about that. You set the sag at 105, and he set you loose. And what'd you do?
Yeah, so we just, like you said, we set the sag, and I had no issues with it. The base stock setting was, for me, I'm in that 170, 175 range, and the thing was awesome for me. It would have been pointless for me to come in and try to mess with settings, because it just I was comfortable. I was settling.
No complaints.
Good. Yeah, no complaints. I was settling good in my corners, and the track was definitely smooth today, but it suited me really well. I liked it.
Yeah, then we found that with all of the Husqvarnas, the WP stuff comes really close in their standard settings. 105 sag, 12 out on the compression rebound on the fork, 15 out on the shock, 2 turns out on your high speed, and boy, you're really close. Maybe a click of compression or rebound here or there on the fork, maybe a little bit of high speed to find your balance, but this stuff it's sharp right away. I mean, as he's saying, you get on and you're like, I don't think there's anything I can improve, so maybe as you ride it more, you might find out, you know what, it's a little bit this or that, and you can make adjustments to suit you. What about anything else? Brakes, any other thing that caught your attention?
So something about these models, which it's a no-brainer, the hydraulic clutches are just amazing. Those things are so easy to use, and just they feel good. The Brembo brakes on it are really good and touchy. For me, I mean, I know it's all rider preference, but for me, I like really touchy brakes, and these things are right there for me. So those are all really nice. I really like the whole the way the chassis feels, and in the plastics. The bike just feels really nimble underneath me for my cornering and stuff, and I like that. So
yeah, it's a comfortable bike. I'm a big fan too of the ODI lock-on grips. Mm-hmm. Even this bar pad is a little bit thicker and kind of different than what we've normally seen. So they've done a great job just kind of finishing these bikes off. So who's the 350 for?
So the 350, I feel, is going to be for your vet guy. But don't get me wrong. I mean, you could definitely be competitive if you're racing on this bike. If you're going to race a 450 class, it does have its advantages in a lot of spots on the track. So. But if you're a guy that's out there that's just wanting to have fun and be that vet rider, this is the bike to get. So
yeah, and that's kind of the trend. People aren't racing as much; they're going to the tracks and riding, just having fun days out with their buddies. Mm-hmm. And this is a great bike for that. I've raced one of these at Mammoth, got pulled on the hill a little bit, but I made it all back up in the switchbacks and the tight stuff. So it's give and take. It's kind of what you like. If the 450 seems like it's a little too much for you, or the 250 is a little soft, this might be the right thing for you. They're available at Husqvarna dealers nationwide, worldwide for that matter. Check them out. Bruce, thanks for coming and helping out today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you guys for watching.